the trailer is really just one story that can take place in the Cellarius universe at a specific time and a specific place. So that character's name is Idra. There's really not even a whole lot of backstory about her. We want the fans to create that story for us. But she is one of the Vindicts, which is a faction that opposes Cellarius and is not willing to forgive Cellarius, that AI, for what it did, taking the energy away from humanity. But I think the one thing I wanted to drive home on that point again is that, like, that's just one story that can happen in the universe, and there's almost infinite stories that people can tell. We're the Apollo brothers, and you're watching a friend of Satoshi Nakamoto.
Yeah. Let's go, y'all. What's up about? Hey, y'all, what's up about? What's up about? Y'all, you're getting stomped by the marching band. Keep them shook like spray cans. It's so hot it'll make your face tan. Ace band rap the place to wasteland. Bitch all in my mouth, but she tastes bland. I feel fake niggas amiss these snake niggas a hiss, but won't bite. False alarm and
Cellarius is being both the future and like the past of storytelling. Basically going back to how myths were told, and those things would be collaborative, and different people would add different elements, and over time there would be this one myth that then came out as a result of that. And that's kind of what we're looking to do with Cellarius, but then also tying back in with the fact that blockchain lets you decentralize things, kind of putting the power back in the hands of the fans. The one line that I like to give is, you know, we're trying to turn fans from being just consumers, like the mark of being a fan is that you buy things for a franchise, to being collaborators in the franchise.
Hi, my name is Anthony Apollo. I'm with the Cellarius Project, and I am the Universe Architect.
I'm Frank Apollo, and I'm on the Cellarius Project as the Champion of Lore.
We are here representing Cellarius. Cellarius is an original transmedia cyberpunk franchise that utilizes the Ethereum blockchain and user-generated content to create a collaborative, fan-curated lore.
What he said. Yeah, so it's basically a collaborative story that anyone can add content to, and then that content can be voted to become an official part of the story that's then permanent using blockchain. So, Cellarius is a future-oriented story, and it's very heavily informed by, I guess, projecting out where technology is going to go of the Cellarius universe between, you know, AI, space exploration, transhumanism, nanotechnology, all these different kind of sci-fi elements, and we would even say that like blockchain is a major part of the story that we're telling.
There's a couple reasons that we're building this on the Ethereum blockchain. One of the key reasons is immutable lore. So there have been a few instances of key franchises, very high-profile franchises, that have had, let's call it, use the term extended universe. Sorry, that's terminology I can't use. The canon of these universes has been excised by parties when there have been changes of hands of said franchises. That has been a disruptive event in the fan community. A lot of characters have been essentially killed off or devalued as a result of that. And one of the things you could do by having a story on the Ethereum blockchain is have an immutable story. So if Frank and I get beamed up to outer space, if someone tries to push us out of Cellarius, first of all, it doesn't really matter, because that content is going to live on into perpetuity with or without us.
And then I think one of the other elements that I wanted to talk to about blockchain being important is the attribution of content. So because we have fans coming in and creating content on the platform, let's say I write a story and Anthony does some character art from that story. He then takes the metadata from my story, so there's an immutable record of tracing back. Sorry, there's a bug there. Who's using it, and just like managing ownership for artists and creators.
The rabbit hole goes deep. So I'm fortunate enough to be friends with Mark D'Agostino, who is the CEO of the Grid Plus project. It's a decentralized energy project that is currently in its alpha down in Texas. So back in the fall of 2015, he fed me what I would refer to as the red pill. I was instantly enamored with the technology, did a ton of research, continued working in a consulting role at a couple other companies, and then there happened to be an opportunity at Consensus where the company wanted to start work on a different type of blockchain project. And Frank and I had previously worked on a number of creative projects, including a brewery called the Masked Menace Brewery, which was based on having different characters that represented all the different elements of beer, and plot lines that were based on the interactions of those characters or ingredients, as well as another graphic novel that we got off the ground. We're about to put on Kickstarter until this opportunity presented itself.
Yeah, so I think Anthony summed it up pretty well. I'm not so much on like the tech side of blockchain, though I did start researching it a lot more once Anthony got involved. I had a lot of creative stuff that had just been kicking around in my head that I've been putting together over the years, and just started pitching these concepts out, and that's basically how I got involved in the team.
I think the smart contract functionality of Ethereum was really helpful. There is a certain amount of fluidity there and will continue to be developed over the course of time, as will things like scalability, and I think that's really the crux of why we'd want to build on Ethereum. We hope to have our private alpha up and running this fall. You can go register for it at Cellarius.network. Again, that's CELLARIUS.network. Not only crypto enthusiasts in our alpha, but also the creators. So we need the artists, the authors, the musicians to come on board and really tell us what they want to see. Whatever revenue model we come up with is going to be predicated on what works best for them. And on that note, I want to add that we are really truly trying to make it a global franchise. We are from New York. A lot of our company is based in New York. A lot of us are from the States. But that is only one country, right? When we think of like the cyberpunk tropes, we always think of New York, we think of San Francisco, we think of Neo Tokyo. Those have all been done. No one's done cyberpunk Jakarta. No one's really done, a story about what Sao Paulo looks like in 2070. So we really hope that the decentralization of this technology and of this story helps garner content from all around the world. We've already sourced content from 6 different continents, and really truly make this a global story that will be stronger and stronger based on how much content from global perspectives we can get.